If you thought stealing our tax money through multiple organized government program fraud schemes was the end, you need to look again. They not only stole our taxes, they stole our jobs. My husband Tim used to drive 18-wheelers across the country and was absolutely horrified to learn that professional CDL driver's licenses were being given without properly training to illegals who can't speak English. But once again, that was only the tip of the iceberg. Imagine someone with no medical training injecting you with drugs that could kill you if not done properly. I made IV solutions for 30 years, and I made solutions that could actually stop the heart in preparation for surgery. I shudder to think that I took such care in preparation of these bags of solution, and when they got to the floor, the nurse injecting it could be completely untrained. Operation Nightingale is a multi-agency federal investigation led by the United States Department of Justice, the Federal Bureau of Investigation, the Department of Health and Human Services Office of Inspector General, and other partners. It targets a large-scale scheme involving the sale of fraudulent nursing diplomas and transcripts from several for-profit schools in Florida. These false credentials enabled unqualified individuals to qualify for and sit for the National Council Licensure Examination, obtain nursing licenses in multiple states, and secure employment in healthcare settings nationwide. The scheme primarily involved now-closed Florida-based institutions that had previously been authorized to train registered nurses and licensed practical or vocational nurses. Operators and employees of these schools conspired to issue fake diplomas and fabricated academic transcripts documenting coursework and clinical training that never occurred. Purchasers paid substantial sums, often thousands of dollars, for these documents, which were then submitted to qualify for the National Council Licensure Examination. Many individuals passed the exam, obtained licensure through state boards, and worked as nurses in hospitals, clinics, and other facilities across states including New York, New Jersey, Texas, Maryland, Georgia, Ohio, Massachusetts, and others. But don't let that fool you into thinking that they are qualified. I don't remember one question from the pharmacy board exam, but I remember lots of stuff from my 10 years in higher education. If the certifications are bogus, you can bet that they were given the board questions to study so that they passed the exam. Federal authorities first announced significant action in January 2023 when charges were filed against 25 defendants, including school officials and recruiters operating in Florida, New York, New Jersey, Texas, and Delaware. The investigation revealed that more than 7,600 fraudulent diplomas and transcripts had been distributed between approximately 2016 and 2021. In Phase 1 of the operation, there were about 30 defendants who ended up being charged and convicted, whether through guilty pleas or trial verdicts. The convictions included charges like wire fraud and conspiracy to commit wire fraud. Sentences handed down by federal courts ranged from prison terms of over a year to several years, and these were often followed by supervised release, fines, and forfeiture of proceeds that came from the fraud. Some defendants actually received prison sentences of 33 to 36 months, along with some pretty substantial financial penalties and orders to forfeit millions in illicit gains. Then, in September 2025, authorities announced Phase 2, bringing charges against 12 additional defendants for their roles in similar conduct. These individuals, who were mostly connected to school ownership, management, and facilitation, faced charges of conspiracy to commit wire fraud. By late 2025, some had already entered guilty pleas, and at least one received a 13-month prison sentence along with supervised release. The Phase 2 cases involved additional Florida-based programs, and honestly, they really reinforced just how massive the fraud was, with estimates of about 7,300 fake diplomas generated across the schemes. State boards of nursing nationwide have reviewed and acted on licenses linked to these fraudulent credentials. Actions have included license suspensions, revocations, and denials of applications. In several states, investigations cleared the majority of flagged individuals after verifying competency through other means, while dozens faced disciplinary measures or lost licensure entirely. The core concern in Operation Nightingale centers on public safety. We don't have a system of witch doctors in the United States. Professional nursing licensure exists to ensure that only those who have completed rigorous, approved education and training provide patient care. Bypassing these standards through fraud undermines the integrity of the healthcare system and exposes patients to potential harm from unqualified practitioners. The operation underscores the importance of strong oversight in the verification of credentials prior to sitting for professional licensing exams, especially in fields like nursing and truck driving where demand is very high. It's interesting to note that these professions pay very well compared to other jobs with this level of training. Unfortunately, both professions carry very high liability, and unqualified practitioners can kill a lot of people. Federal prosecutors and investigators continue to seek out these dangerous degree mills, emphasizing yet another facet of this illegal immigration problem that's putting our citizens at risk. This one is even more of an assault on Americans than stealing our taxpayer money. Now it's become apparent that they are stealing our jobs and filling them with unqualified posers. My hunch is that this is just the tip of the iceberg once again, and we're going to see even more organized schemes to infiltrate our society with criminals. What's next? Bogus dentists and EMTs? Untrained teachers and electricians? Maybe structural engineers building our bridges? Here's the thing, guys. Databases exist online to verify whether a professional is licensed or not, but these nurses have licenses to practice, just like the truck drivers who got licenses to drive without the predicate training. So can anything be done? The answer is of course. We can require national accreditation verification for all schools whose graduates sit for licensing exams. We can mandate direct, primary source transcript transmission from only accredited institutions to licensing boards, rather than allowing hand-carried documents. We can create a shared federal-state credential fraud database which flags schools and testing centers that have abnormal pass rates or other fraud indicators, but we do just the opposite. We give schools with higher pass rates more money. This needs to change. We can require documented clinical or apprenticeship hour verification directly through audited employers or hospitals, not just the schools. We can also condition eligibility for exams based on verification of someone's lawful presence. And we can do what is currently being done, which is to aggressively prosecute and permanently bar degree mills and test brokers under fraud and RICO statutes. Just barring someone from opening up a school won't do it, because they will just apply for licenses under bogus names. I've seen it 100 times. The only option is criminal prosecution, stiff penalties, and deportation if applicable. In short, we must choke off fake schools, verify training at the source, conduct ongoing audits and oversight, and make credential fraud carry real career-ending consequences. Then, find out who isn't doing their job in overseeing these degree mills at the government level and either remove them from their positions and/or prosecute them if they are on the take also. Lots more coming. Next is what's really going on with Greenland from a 17 perspective. It's all falling into place and most people don't even realize it. Give thanks, keep your vibes up, and prepare your frequency for the next stage of human evolution.